Ah! Oh, fuck. I hurt my shoulder. I shouldn't have done that. Introduction. Hey guys, it's Mexican Joss. Welcome back to my channel. If you didn't know, I have returned. If you haven't seen my comeback video, the link will be in the description, also on my face right now. Got it? Better go watch it. You better fucking go watch it, I swear to God, I'm gonna beat the shit. Today we're gonna do something different, something I used to do in my old videos, but it was different. It was a different time because obviously it was in school, there wasn't a lot happening. And it's only just recently, and I thought I'd talk about it because I feel like I need to address the issues and act as a warning for you guys or anyone who watches this, or personal experience, like a diary entry almost. If I put the title correctly, this is about my first job. My first job was in a fast food restaurant. It was Burger King. I hate saying that because it makes me feel disgusting. I don't like the fact that I used to work there. I mean, people say there isn't a shame in it because a job's a job and you get paid in the end, but in the circumstances that I was in and the experience I had is something that I'm not going to forget, and a reason I would tell people otherwise when it comes to jobs and fast food. So, we get to the start of it. It was May, June-ish time of 2017. I just finished college off, handed in everything for my exam, I think. Yeah, my exam. 40% towards my final grade. I handed everything in, and that was me gone, that was me out of college, because I was undergoing a lot of pressure during that time. I didn't like being in college. I felt I had a lot of breakdowns. It wasn't fun. I should look at more the camera rather than that, Jesus. I was getting a lot of breakdowns, and I was like, nah, I'm out. I don't even want to help. I'm sorry, I didn't even want to help with the exhibition setup. I just wanted to get out of there, and I did. And then when I did, I was at home, I was working with my mum, helping her with the garden, and at one point we were really tired. And we decided, we need to go eat, but I'm not going to cook. She wasn't going to cook, and I don't fucking know how to cook, are you kidding me? So we decided to just go to the most closest place we could think of, and that's always Burger King. It's only like a 15-minute walk from my house. Understanding at this point, I didn't tell you this part, but I should have. This point was a difficult point of last year. I was at a really bad low. I saw no future for myself. I thought I flunked my exam. I didn't do as good as I should have, or I didn't put as much effort as I should have. And then I felt lost. I felt like, what the fuck am I going to do? I don't know what I want to do in uni. I don't know if I see myself having a future in creative studies. I didn't see anything. I was unemployed. I didn't know where my future was going, and I pretty much just fucked up my exam. So I was at a low point. I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna fucking do. At that point as well, I was also applying for a bunch of jobs, everything, literally everything, and I would always get rejected day by day. Like, I would get 3 rejections in a day. That was how bad it was. So in understanding that circumstance, I went to Burger King. We grabbed some food, we sat down, and then I saw a poster on the wall saying applicants wanted, and I was like, I want to do it, but at the same time, I don't, because it's Burger King. Ever since a kid, I've always said I never want to hit that low point. For me, I mean, for other people, working in fast food is their personal experience, is their personal preference. If they like it, great. If they don't, whatever, that I agree. I mean, for me, fast food is a low point, is a low job. Like, for me, like, for other people, fair, if you work at fast food, I'm not shitting on you, but for me, I feel like, personally, I could do much better, and I could do with a job that is more, not higher class, but less demeaning, I think that's the word, because this is where we get into my experiences. So I never thought I would ever do a fast food job. I would always go for retail, like clothes, which is what I do now, or just anything else, literally anything but food, anything but fast food, especially like McDonald's, Burger King, KFC. Never wanted to do it. At that point, I was vulnerable. I was like, I have no fucking option. So what did I do? I talked to a person working there. I asked, how do you apply? They told me I need to bring a CV. So I brought in a CV within the next week. And then it was no time to wait. And I was thinking during that time, I was like, if I get this job, I'll actually get paid monthly. Like, I did have a job at that point, but it wasn't really a job, it was a paper round. So I was only getting £30 a month, which was barely anything, but I survived, I lived with it, so I can't complain. So a week later on, I get a phone call saying that I've got an interview. And I was like, what? I got an interview? That's a step further than I've had with any other job. Let's do it! I was like getting really excited because this was my first job exception, kind of like it was my first step into getting a job. So I was getting really excited. I was like, yeah, thank God I finally get a fucking job. So I was getting all happy, told my mum, told everyone, told my friends, you know, despite the fact that it was Burger King, I still got a job application, I still got a job interview. So the day came, had the interview, sat down. It was very unprofessional because the person who interviewed me was not wearing a uniform. I felt like I was a bit too overdressed, like I was wearing a suit, and it felt weird. It went quite successful. I think it went really well. In fact, I got the job. But yeah, that's how it went really well. But then later on, a week later, she tried calling me. I didn't pick up. She called me like 2 days after telling me I got the job, and I was like, yes, I finally got a fucking job. I can finally make money, make more money than I originally am. So I have two jobs, one that's not making me a lot of money, and one that should be making me more money than my other job. It's not really a job. So that was my plan sorted. So then the next couple of days, I had to get my uniform. And the uniform at that point was pretty fucking disgusting. I had to wear a black uniform with the colours red, green, and like a brownish colour. And like I take pride in my appearance, and for me to wear something like that was not fun. I really hate the fact that I had to wear that, but I had to wear it. And yeah, so the first week happened. I got trained. You know, everything was okay. Then I got to the job, and the job wasn't that bad. You know, you have your couple of odd days when you mess up. But in the first week, I was doing great. I got told by my trainee and my manager that I was doing really good and I should keep it up and hopefully not mess up a lot. Plus, this was summer and I was on a 0-hour contract, so I would only get called in. I would only get the hours every week. I would only get a certain amount of hours. But at that point, like, I didn't have college. I decided to just devote my time to working for them, in which I did. I told them I'm not at college. Hit me up, message me, call me if you need shift filling. I would do it because I like the idea of actually working now and getting paid for it, like working hourly. And so that's the first thing that I shouldn't have done, because that's what resulted in later in me leaving. From then on, I was doing maybe 40 to 30 hours a week. Sometimes I would get 10-hour shifts on weekends, on weekdays, you know. But at that point, I was still enjoying it. I was like, I'm getting paid. And one thing I particularly liked about the job is not the job itself, but the people that I worked with, especially the person who I got closest with. He was, I'll give him his name, Nathan. If you're watching this, I don't think you will, but if you do, you're a fucking great guy. Thank you for making me feel welcome and becoming one of my good friends at that job. Him and plenty of others made the job feel more enjoyable. They would talk to me, they would laugh, we wouldn't hang out of hours because I was really fucking awkward and scared to until one time, but we'll get into that into another story. What was I saying? So me devoting my time wasn't that bad because I liked doing it. I didn't like the job itself. I liked it because of the people I worked with. They put a smile on my face. They made me enjoy it. I would leave the shop feeling happy and like, yeah, I did my work. I'm getting paid for it, so everything's okay with that. And that was great. I was doing 40 to 30 hours. I know it wasn't the best idea to do it, but I did it anyway because I was going to London in the summer, so I needed to save up quite a lot because like hotel and the bus wasn't going to be cheap at all, and spending over there wasn't going to be cheap at all. So I had to save a lot. So I asked for plenty of hours, in which I did. I got 40 to 45. My max was 45, and sometimes there'll be 2 or 3 odd occasions of pay days where I go over 45 hours. And I would get them earned later on, which was fine. I got scared because I thought that I was going to get ripped off for hours and working them and not actually getting paid. But I always made sure I got paid. So in that sense, they were good in that, and everything was fine. Everything was fine at that point. I wasn't hating it. You know, there'll be a couple of odd days I wasn't hating it. There was a couple of days when I, wouldn't feel it. Customers were rude, etc. Obviously, working at fast food, people are impatient. People want their food. People want it warm. That sort of shit. So people are impatient. People are like, I want my fucking food. Let me eat. I paid you. And obviously, I always try to give my 110%. Even when the customer's the most dullest and miserable little shit, I always try to put a smile, make sure they're well serviced. Give them their food, ask them about the day, talk to them if it's quiet or like if I'm not busy. Just try to become that nice person. I always like being served with great customer service, so I like to do the same because I know it's like being a customer, and I know now it's like being on the other side of the customer, the one being the server. I think that works. Does it work? I don't know. That was summer. That was towards July, August. Everything was fine. Obviously, at the end of August, holidays were finishing up, and I had to go back to college. So I had to start to dim it down my hours, in which I told them I can only work 20 hours a week. That's all I can do. I can't do these 40-hour shifts anymore. I can't do these 40-hour week, 40 hours a week or 30 hours a week. I have to minimise it because I got to focus on college now. I've got to really knuckle down because this is my last year. Everything is going to be devoted to this final grade. So I told them I want to do 20 hours. So 10 hours on Saturday, 20 hours on Sunday. It'll be a lot and very exhausting, but I'm willing to do it as long as you are happy with it and I'm happy with it and I get the pay and everything, that. And so we agreed to that. I told him that, in which he did for like the first 2 weeks, because that's when it started to get worse. Because during my first 2 or 3 months working there, I was vulnerable. I liked the fact that I was getting money, 3-digit pay slips. I was like, fuck this is really good. I want to keep on getting more. So I would always be the one to be there for them, be one to fall back onto. So if someone can't fill in their shift, someone comes in late, someone can't do it because they're ill, they would always call me, and I would be the one to take over because I like doing the job and I got paid for it. So I became vulnerable at that point because I put myself out there looking like this desperate motherfucker who wanted money, which was the case. But that obviously affected me later on because they decided to use that as an advantage, as their own advantage, use me for advantage, especially when it came to hours. So when I started in September, only doing 20 hours, I would always get called in on the Monday or the Tuesday, or called in on a Thursday afternoon, which I wouldn't mind doing because like my lesson finishes early on a Thursday. But they would always call me in whenever they could, and I was like, yo, I've got college, I can't do this, I need to knuckle down. But in that sense, I was still making money, and I was still liking the fact that I was making money. I was a money-grabbing slut. So at that point, I was still saying, yeah, fine, I don't mind doing it. So I'd go there, work the shift, do 30 hours a week, 40 hours a week, and that was that. And it did dim it down. They did stop trying to call me, and I would only do my 10 hours on Saturday and Sunday, and that was that. And I was doing that, and I was fine with it. I was living. Sometimes I would couldn't be bothered to go to the job because it was a Saturday and a Sunday. Like, I want my weekend. I want to go out with my friends, maybe stay at home, do some work for college, anything besides work at a fast food restaurant. Because at that point, it started to, after working there for like 3 months, you're like, wow, this is everything. You get, especially where I live, they're not the most hospitable people. They're rude, arrogant, and obviously very impatient because it's food, and I understand that. but they don't understand the fact that I've got other people to serve, so they always think, oh, I'm priority because I'm here first, blah, blah, blah. And I know you're there first, and I know I should put you first, but there are other people besides you who have also served and want food. So I've only got two hands, and usually in that sort of job, I would usually be at the front on my own. Like, on my own, there'll be one person in the kitchen, maybe two people in the kitchen. I'll be left on my own handling a bunch of people, a queue, anything. So obviously with that sort of job, you get sick of it because you're left on your own. No, I'm not saying I was always left on my own. There were the times where people were with me, helping me out. But usually there'll be cases where I would just handle it on my own, which took its toll because then you start to get sick of it. The fact that you're not getting as much help as you should or want. They weren't that cooperative. I say that now when I'm shitting on them, but I'm not. There were some like good times where they were there to help, but then there are other instances, and I don't like to be dependent on people. I like to be individual, especially with a job, because that's one problem that I have with the job is the fact that I could only work the front till. I couldn't be able to work in the kitchen because I was underage, even though I always said I would train. I would love to train for it. I would only be working the tills, and clean, of course. But that really lowered it because I always had to rely on someone to be in the kitchen to do the food for me. When if there was only like 2 customers and not a lot of people, I would be able to take their order and go do it myself. Go clean, go wash my hands, obviously be sanitary, do the food and then hand it out myself rather than waiting for someone. But obviously in my circumstance being 17, I wasn't allowed to. So that was a big problem for me. All of this all ramped up and I had to compress it. I had to just live on, think it was a good job, just get the job done and try to be as positive as possible. I always try to bring positivity to my work because if I'm not positive, then I won't like the job, then I'll hate everyone, then I'll be grumpy as shit and it's not fun. Hold on a second, I need to have a drink break. That's some good water. I always try to be positive, especially when I came in, morning, 9 o'clock in the morning shifts. I would always come in and be like, good morning guys, are you ready to work? I am. Always try to cheer them up, always try to bring a positive vibe to my work because I like feeling good, I like feeling happy, especially when it comes to working. Otherwise, if I don't, I feel sad, and I express that towards customers, and that makes me feel bad because I want them to be happy. I want to give the best service. I don't want to be a grumpy little shit. Like when you go to Lidl or Asda or anyone and you're at the tills and they're like really grumpy, they're like beep, 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 that's £15. I always try to bring that positivity with the group, with the customers, everything. And that took its toll as well because everything just ramped up to the point where at the end of my first half-term holiday, which was October time, I didn't ask for anything. I didn't ask for any hours. If I would have told him, but I never asked for any hours whatsoever. I just did my 20 hours a week. That was that. I only told them when I could not do my hours. If I had therapy, plans to go out with a friend, parties, etc., stuff like that, going out on holiday, going to Leeds, shit like that, I would always tell them, and they would always inform me whether I can and cannot take those days off, and I would usually take them off and get paid for them because obviously they're paid holidays. And that was that. And then the holiday came in, and I didn't ask for anything. But out of fucking nowhere, I got 45 hours in a week, in just a week, I think. It was only in 1 week because I only had 1 week holiday. Was it for Halloween? I think it was for Halloween. Anyway, I came up and I was like, whoa, hold on. I've got work to do. I've got college. I do have a life. I'm not just going to devote my whole time to work. And I never told him that. I'm not the best of confrontation. I couldn't go up to him and be like, right, this is not okay. I had to just go with it. I was quiet when it comes to that sort of circumstance. So I didn't say anything. I just did the job. As much as it really fucking annoyed me during the week, I told everyone, like, this isn't fucking acceptable. It was a really shitty week. I had really bad shifts during that week. People started to get more, the place started to get more popular because more uni students were coming in because there's a uni like 10 minutes away and a uni accommodation only 5 minutes away. So it got busy and people were starting to leave. I think 2 people left and started doing decrease, so he was pushing more hours onto people. I was one of those people getting pushed hours. So that week was pretty much my low point. I was like, I don't think I can do this anymore. I started in June, but I really can't if like things are going to be like this. You know, I wasn't happy about it anymore. There were days when I tried to be happy, but it was all just fake. It was only for the sake of customers and the people who I work around with. I didn't like the job by then at all. I didn't say anything. I just carried on, and that's when I started looking for other jobs. And it took about a month till I actually got responses from 2 other retailers, and then Bonfire Night hit, which was the big night of all nights. Like, because we're only 10 minutes away from the actual set of the fireworks, it gets busy, like really busy. Like, you need 20 to 15 people in the shop floor, 4 people in the kitchen, 4 people on the front, people doing deliveries, I think, because deliveries still happen then. Because we did deliveries too, and that was another thing. We did deliveries too. Although it went smoothly as possible because I was with one of the best workers in there, apart from me. I'm kidding. I was a good worker, and we smashed it. We got it out of the way. And on that night, I got called because I knew I was going to get a phone call from one of these jobs. Because they messaged me saying if I've got to go to one of the selection events. And they called me on that night, but I didn't realise till the end of the night. I was like, shit, they called me. I might have another job. So come like 3 days later, I called them back. I asked them what happened, and this woman said, "You got the job." I was like, "What? I got the job? Fuck yeah! I got another." I didn't tell anyone about it. Actually, no, I told 3 of my work colleagues, tell them that I got another job, that it's probably going to be better pay and everything, blah blah blah. And yeah, that was that. When within a week or two, I handed in my notice. I say handing as in I didn't fucking work my notice, because at that point I really couldn't stand being at work. I would come in on the last couple of shifts I had and be like, I cannot do this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to set foot in this after I leave. Like, I only want to set in to see my friends, to see my fellow co-workers. And that was that. I handed in my notice. I didn't want to work my notice. I told him, I'm handing in, but I'm not working your notice. I'm out. I can work one of the days, which I didn't. I just didn't. I just started my new job and left. And that was it. And that was the end of that. And I'm more happier now with my new job. It's less demeaning. It's more what I like to do. It revolves around fashion and clothing, so that's anything better than food. And I've got a great group of colleagues who I work with. They're all really respectful. They all talk to you. They're all really lovely. And not that the other people weren't. They were a great team as well. There was one particular person who took a lot of anger out on me. I think it's because I was the most vulnerable and the smallest, and I wasn't prone to retaliation, so I would take anything I was given, abuse-wise. To which at that point he completely shouted at me. So at one point, this person made me cry. Actually got to me on one day. He took it out all on me. I broke. I went to the restaurant staff toilet and I cried my eyes out for a good 10 minutes because he got to me. He pushed me, and I don't know if I want to talk about that. I might talk about that in a later. Probably not, because I'm trying not to really like shout him out or anything. But he sometimes was a good friend, sometimes was a good work colleague. I think his problem was his anger, especially towards me, and abuse to other colleagues. He was a bit of a racist and a bit of a homophobe, but I don't think I'll talk about that maybe in another video. I don't know. I just want to talk about my personal experience with fast food and the fact that it's for your first job. I think it was a good first job for the first couple of months. It's easy, it's simple, you don't have to remember a lot apart from like, you know, prices, blah blah blah. Make sure you're always polite to the customers. I think for the workload, for your pay, especially because I was 17 at that point, my pay was £4.5, which is probably why I pushed myself to do more hours so I can get more money, because £4.5 is shit, is nothing. For the work that I was doing and for the hours I was putting in, the work that I was doing wasn't worth it at all. I was getting paid a bit, only because I was on £4.5 an hour and doing 40 hours a week. It was good, it was alright pay for me at that time, but now looking back at it, I was like, that really wasn't fucking work. That really wasn't my time. That really wasn't worth my time. The stress, the breakdowns, the sad part. I just didn't like it, especially after like 5 or 4 months of working there. But again, I can't scrutinize it for what it was, because it was my first job. It was my first job that ever took me on, and I thank the team and everyone who made me feel more welcome, who trained me, who believed in me, especially the restaurant manager for actually taking me on, considering I had no experience whatsoever. So I thank you for that, but at the same time, I just didn't like the job. I'm sorry, I just didn't like the job. After a while, you get sick of it. You know, the abuse you get, not only from one of the staff, but from the customers. It's just not worth it. And I think that's a wrap, because this video has been cut 3 times because I think I'm running out of memory. But yeah, that was my experience with fast food. If you want to do a fast food job, that's up to you. I'm just telling you my side of it and how it made me, how the experience I went through. But you might not get the same experience. It might be a different job. People might treat you better in McDonald's or KFC, whatever you have. It might be better for you, but for me, it was just a bad experience, and I hope to never revisit it. But yeah, if you want to take this advice, if you don't want to take this advice, that's fine. I just wanted to talk about it because it's something that I needed to share, because it's very personal to me, and I thought I'll just talk about it, and it might be good for the people to listen to if they're ever gonna go into fast food or have their first job at fast food, shit like that. So thank you very much for watching. I don't know how long this video was because I need to edit it. Hopefully it's nothing like 20 minutes. If it's like 15, okay. If it's 10, that'd be great. But if it's longer than that, thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, please hit the like button, subscribe, and turn your notifications on, because YouTube still doesn't let people find other videos, because they only select a couple of videos. Or Logan Paul. Thank you guys for watching. I've been Mexican Joss. You've been the people. I'll see you next time. I'll see you in the flip-flop. Flip-flop! Why do I do that? Why do I say flip-flop? I don't know. I just don't know. I just don't know.